is producing and performing the classic Cinderella, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, beginning this Thursday night, the 17th of February, 8 o'clock p.m. in the Powerhouse Theater of the Sermon Center. And I can joke about that, because the Sermon Center was once a power station in Independence. That's how it's got its name. Three of the performers and the director. One of the three. The director is with us as well. Marcie Ramirez is with us. She is directing Cinderella.
Hello.
And she's many things though. She's an actress, she's a singer, she's a dancer. I believe I've seen her do improv as well. All over the place. Yeah, she didn't know that. Huh?
No, I remember you being there.
Okay.
Oh no.
See, that's a classic line, Marcie. You got to come up with it. And with her, she brought three of her performers in the show, three of the key performers of the show, I might add. Jamie Lynn is with us. She is the fairy godmother. What good would Cinderella be without a fairy godmother?
Not very.
That's true. Erin Coleman is with us as well. She is the feature role of Cinderella, the put upon, very much put down. Big foot is on.
Right. Yes.
Cinderella. And Sarah Nickerson, the stepmother.
Yes.
This other descriptive term is used, but we're happy.
Thank you for avoiding that. Thank you.
Glad to have you with us today. Cinderella is a very old, very classic show, but Marcie Ramirez being Marcie Ramirez, I knew that she would want to do something a little different with the part, and from what I've heard, you have.
Yes. When I applied to direct the show, I did a lot of research on the past versions of Cinderella. I mean, dating back to the little Cinder Girl in like AD in China, and every time they told the story, the visuals just changed from culture to culture. So I wanted to change the visuals for our current culture, so we're directing it. So the visuals are very 2011, and that looks like a pop-up book, and they're living in 2011 in this pop-up book storyland. So we incorporate cell phones and laptops.
Wow.
and very recognizable to today's elements.
Okay. Pull mic 4 over. We always have this problem. Is it mic 4 or mic 3? Say a little something into it.
I'll say a little something.
Yeah.
No?
No, not working either. Just these two are working. So let's just take those out of the mix.
You want this one gone too?
Yeah, no, this is fine.
Okay.
No, speaking that one actually. That'll sound the best, I think.
Okay.
We want to hear your.
What do you want me to say now?
We want to hear your dulcet tones just as well as they can come across.
I'm not Bill Pelletier, so I don't think I can do it.
Oh, I think you probably can. Okay. But Cinderella, the changes you've made, they kind of modernized the story. Does that mean there is no glass slipper?
There is no glass slipper. There's a very, very shiny, sparkly Converse tennis shoe. Yeah.
Yeah, the product placement is
No, I must say Converse has offered us no money to mention their name. But
well, what did you come up with the idea of doing it this particular way?
I just feel like today's storytelling and the fairy tales that are being made today, like the High School Musical, are the same kind of storyline with a visual that is more relatable to today's youth. So I wanted my inner 7-year-old and other 7-year-olds, or the 7-year-old that I mother in the future, to find something more recognizable. And I wanted to make it a little bit different, just so that you don't see the same old Cinderella. I wanted a fairy godmother that was 25, not 48, and I wanted a stepmother and stepsisters that look very diverse, and a Cinderella that's a bookworm, and a nerdy prince, like to sort of explain why they fall in love and what their commonality is. So they live in this very digital, cell phony, laptop-like world, and they don't fit in.
Oh.
And so they can find each other in the simpleness of books and
Things
art.
like that?
Yeah.
Well, does this change things for Cinderella?
Oh, definitely. I think that Cinderella is still, the core of her is still the same. She's very still daydreamy and in her own little world, but it does just have a nice spin. Definitely how she connects with the prince is just on a whole different level. It makes the script be a little bit more relatable to this generation, I think. So that I think the core of her is still the same, but she she relates to the prank on just a deeper level than normal.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, and someone might, but someone might wonder how this changes the plot, tell us a little bit, just a little about the background of Cinderella. Why is she living in the circumstances that she's in right now?
Well, the background of Cinderella is that she is pretty much becomes a servant to her stepmother and her stepsisters. Her father has passed away. This particular version doesn't give a whole lot of background to how this situation has come to be, but she is essentially a servant in her own home and has had to deal with that and, you know, be able to process all that within her world.
Do you think of it as kind of a rags to riches type story?
Definitely. I mean, it's...
I guess I've given away the shouldn't have done that. I didn't say that.
It's the, you know, Cinderella story. It's the Cinderella ending.
Yes,
I mean, it's kind of become a descriptor.
Yeah. Well, the classic bad person, isn't it? Is it okay if I say that?
Yeah.
Sarah Nickerson is the stepmother. It's difficult being a stepmother, I guess. But you take it to extremes, don't you?
A little bit. I'd like to believe that my everyday personality is quite the opposite of the stepmother. She's really quite harsh on Cinderella. She, at one time, I suppose, loved Cinderella's father, but with him out of the picture, she's just gotten bitter and greedy and very selfish and self-centered and wants to forward her own daughters and now. But Cinderella, what I love about the about her character is that she keeps her goodness and her sweetness through all of this hardship that she has to live through, you know, in their home.
So the rationalization in the actress's mind is that the grief over losing her husband causing her to be so
absolutely. That's what I'm going to stick to now.
Okay. Well, I think that works. Now the fairy godmother, the motivation for her is what? Help Cinderella? Are you like a guardian angel watching over Cinderella?
In this one, not so much. You know, traditionally the fairy godmother is like a motherly figure, and this I am closer to her own age, and I'm very sassy, and I have a Brooklyn accent, and I'm kind of like a combination of Fran Drescher and Snooki from Jersey Shore. So I'm very. It's
not
more.
You're not as tan as Snooki.
No, I have yet to become orange. But you know, rather than the comforting, oh, it's so sweet, I'm more of a get your stuff together, and you know, kind of a pusher rather than like a supporter, if that makes any sense. But she's definitely a lot more sassy.
A little bit more booty kicking is necessary.
Yeah, definitely. Kick her in the pants to get her going rather than like, it's okay, sweetie, we're going to have fun at the ball.
Well, the original era of Cinderella, compassion was more on order. Today, that's kind of going out the window.
Right.
Well, and I mean, I think truth is the best, clearly not, truth is the best gift. I think just keep pointing at microphones. Just truth is the best gift that you can give anyone, and that's what all fairy godmothers do, but she gives it way more straight. She gives her the truth in a way more direct manner than you're used to seeing.
Yeah, in this age of social communication, and that people are more in the face, so to speak, today. But sometimes manners take a step backwards.
And something I really love about what Marcie has done with this particular direction of the show, traditionally it's very magic oriented and bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, and suddenly she's a princess at the ball. But Marcie has taken it a different way with the fairy godmother's character, especially that it's more about if you're a good person and you work hard and you get up and you try to support yourself and forward yourself, that yes, dreams can come true. It is still about dreams and about them coming true, but it's just it's a more active role in it instead of relying on a flash pop.
So it sounds like Marcie is aiming more for the younger crowd with it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to teach a 7-year-old, hey, if you change who you are completely visually through magic that you don't have to work for and you don't have to educate yourself, you'll land at the age of 16 the man of your dreams and you'll get to leave high school. Like, I don't like that idea. So I wanted to cast a more mature Cinderella, a more mature prince, that they have education in their background. They're both very into education. I want to send the message that you can be who you are and still be chosen, not that you have to morph into something different.
Well, you had very different. I can just see you now talking to the play choosing committee. Did you unveil it?
I imagine it fit very
I brought a lot of visual aids.
I bet you did. I did. You're very innovative in general.
Thank you.
When you perform, how do you transition this over to your directing, which you've done several times now?
How do you transition it?
Yeah. You put a lot of your own energy that you would put on stage. Do you try to transfer that to them in some way?
I think so, to a certain extent. I think that the director's job is to be a mirror to the actor. And so I did have a very strong vision about what this should be, but we cast people with personalities that already lent themselves to that. So they can naturally sort of be...
Yeah, wait a minute.
It's a little bit true.
She means the nerdy Cinderella.
They can naturally sort of function as themselves in a heightened way, and I just mirror back to them like, hey, are you aware that this is happening? And then they can repair it within their own selves. It's not like I don't want to micromanage and tell them when to pick up a prop and what their emotional core should be. That's their job to figure out as far as I'm concerned. My job is to sit back and watch for mistakes and have their back so that everything's in shape by the time there's an audience there.
One thing that I really liked that Marcie had us do was write character bios. Even people who are in the ensemble and don't technically have a set character, she said, come up with a name, who's their family, where are they from, who are they friends with, who don't they like, that type of thing. So we were forced to think about it and actually, make a decision about our character rather than just, I'm a dancer in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that really helped everyone a lot, and I wish more directors would do that.
Yeah, I love that it gives validation to the ensemble members because they are such an integral part of the show. And a lot of times they're just used as set dressing, and I don't like that at all. I think that they should feel a part of the story as much as those of us with an actual given name are.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the costume would probably be easy then. No?
The stepmother that you're speaking to now, Sarah Nickerson, is also the costumer. And I have very strong visuals of what needed to take place, and she's making those happen, but it's been a lot of work. She's really, way under budget and doing her job in a fantastic way, but it's been a huge load of work. And we have a lot of sewing crew that's helping sort of create, because we want it to be modern day, but also sort of fantasy-like, because it is, after all, a fairy tale. So she's been working her fanny off.
Gladly so.
Strokes from the director.
Oh, I love it. I love
Because
it.
if you do something wrong in rehearsal tonight, that's all changed.
The costumes are amazing as well.
I'll bet
They
are.
really lend to the story and the modernization of it.
Well, some things don't change. The music is exactly the same.
Yes, and the dialogue. We wouldn't dare mess with what was already on the page. Rogers and Hammerstein knew what they were doing. They wrote the story. We're going to respect them. But they didn't say how people had to look or whether or not people could or could not carry cell phones or laptops. So we're free to add those in.
Well, those things were not thought of.
Right. No, not at the time it was written.
It makes you wonder in 100 years what will they look back and laugh it up about.
Yeah.
You just have to wonder. Well, you have a musical director.
We do. Minor Garrett, who I have worked with as an actor for a long time, and I have a great deal of respect for him in terms of musical, his orchestral connections. He was a touring performer with Ringling Brothers and
Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, and he's been in every version of pit orchestra and symphony in town. He has wonderful music connections, wonderful instrumentalists that work with him all the time. And then he's, while he can be long-winded, hi Minor,
2 minutes.
if you can prevent him from telling stories that go too long, he really is a very charismatic, caring music director
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with the vocalist.
Yeah. How many pieces did you want? Orchestra.
I think we have 22.
Wow,
Yeah.
now that is a lot.
Yes,
And they're great.
They're
They
wonderful people. There are several people. The first one that comes to mind for me is Brian Wigton, which is one of the most respected bassists in town, stand-up and electric, and he's in our pit. Yay and go us! The one challenge we're facing there is for 22 pieces, we have to put them away. We do not have an orchestra pit. And there's no room in our shop any longer to have an orchestra back there, so they're being piped in from the second floor.
Oh my.
So they'll be viewing us on monitors, and Minor will have a headset, and they'll be up on the second floor piped in.
Oh,
So it will be live music.
Oh, I look forward to examining it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of after the show fun for me.
You're welcome to go up there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I go everywhere. The city, we're talking with the director and several of the cast of the Independence City Theater production of Cinderella, Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and it will open this Thursday night, the 17th at 8 o'clock p.m. with performances continuing on Friday the 18th at 8. Saturday night, I know, they're having a special dinner before the
We
show.
do. It's catered by Nadler's of Wellington, and it starts at 6:30. I did not bring the menu, but there are still tickets available for that up until Wednesday. And the dinners are always very good. I believe it's going to be, if I'm remembering right, it's going to be prime rib and a chicken dish, and then the desserts are just outstanding. And then you go into the theater and enjoy a very high. I would think the best descriptor for this show is high energy.
Yes.
Which is atypical sometimes. Cinderella sort of tends to be a pastel-like thing, which is always very lovely, and ours is certainly not pastel.
That's
So
right.
some people will hate it,
Big, bold
and some people
colors.
will love it.
Yeah, that's a tradition. Every show has at least one of the dinner night performances.
Yes, it's always the first Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, and then also matinees. Sunday afternoon matinees are a staple at City Theater. This Sunday the 20th at 2. And then they'll take a few days off. They'll probably need it, and then do it all over again next week. Thursday the 24th at 8. Friday the 25th at 8, Saturday the 26th at 8, and a final closing Sunday matinee on the 27th at 2 o'clock p.m. at City Theater of Independence, located inside the Sermon Center, 201 North Dodgen. That is essentially the corner of Truman and Nolan Roads in Independence, Missouri, where all of the fine streets meet in Independence. And it begins, of course, this Thursday night. Speaking with Marcie Ramirez, the director. Oh, she's also an actress, singer, a dancer,
A cooker, a baker.
Really?
And she's cute.
Can I give the phone number? Can I give the phone number for tickets?
Oh.
Do you have that?
I
there?
have it.
Okay.
The 325 number?
Yes.
816-325-7367. Or you can go online for more information. I don't believe you can get your tickets. Or
You can buy them
you can?
through Ticketly.
Ah.
Yeah.
City Theater of Independence, all of that, City Theater of Independence, theater spelled with an R-E.org, and you can get all kinds of information about Independence. You can get the people on the board in Independence. I looked through that last night. You can get a lot of information about City Theater in Independence. Now in its 31st season, of course, at a different location in Independence, they had seasons even before that, which I'm old enough to remember. So, they have quite a tradition now in Independence, and they've already announced the next season, so
We have.
notice as well. Going to be part of any of those, or hope to be?
Well, if you're speaking on that, directorial applications are going out now. They're available. You can print them off on our website. Generally, the rule is that if you are a newcomer, you need to come with a lot of good references. If you are not a newcomer, you need to have teched a couple of shows, i.e., been an assistant director or stage manager for a production. Those are the type of applicants we are looking at. I don't know if I will personally be applying for next year or not, but we have a fantastic season, and the directorial interviews will be Saturday, March the 6th.
Do you write? Because Independence has a playwright festival every year.
I'm in charge of the Playwright Festival, and I did submit blindly, and the first year I did get selected, which was lucky for me. It was hard to sit at the table and look down and pretend like it wasn't mine, because we do blind table reads, and so you sit there and hear your stuff torn apart, which is lovely. And then, so that was our first year, and then last year we did a children's playwriting festival where it was only children's material, submitted, and we went national. So the majority of our authors last year came from all over the United States. We used the Loop, and then this year we are accepting submissions up until March the 1st. They must be 15 minutes or under in length, and we do table read them to ensure that. We are not putting limitations on language, but every piece submitted must be titled Fine Art.